Lewis Hamilton stated on Friday that he was ready to face the upcoming Formula One season after overcoming adversity following the devastating conclusion to his 2021 World Championship campaign. Stay tuned for the full story, dealing with the 2021 season finale. The British driver, 37, was speaking for the first time since losing the title in contentious circumstances to Max Verstappen in Abu Dhabi on December 12th. Hamilton was on the verge of capturing a record-breaking 7th world title in the season finale until a contentious safety car restart allowed Dutch driver Verstappen to pass his British opponent in the penultimate lap. Following his defeat, the 7-time world champion was disillusioned, and at one point it was uncertain whether he would return to the grid. But Hamilton, speaking at the unveiling of the Mercedes vehicle for the 2022 season, a day after Michael Masi was fired as F1 race director, claimed he was still eager for further triumph. He argued that he had never indicated he was going to retire. He enjoys what he does, and it is a luxury for him to work with such a huge group of individuals, and he feels like he is part of a family. There's nothing else like it. Hamilton claimed that the race at Yas Marina was manipulated, following Masi's decision to let the race restart, which gave Verstappen the chance to win the title. Reflecting on the emotions following the race, Hamilton, who appeared with new colleague George Russell and team manager Toto Wolff, stated that it was a difficult time for him and that he needed to take a step back and focus on the present. He was surrounded by his family, who were making wonderful memories with him. He ultimately came to the conclusion that he would keep on racing and working with Toto and George in the upcoming season. Heading into the new season, Mercedes has gone back to their customary silver colors for the new campaign, after using black for the previous 2 seasons in the battle against racism. It's certainly one of the most thrilling occasions in history, Hamilton remarked. For him, it feels like the first launch all over again. He's finding it hard to believe that he's been with Mercedes for 10 years. Seeing George get his seat fitted at the factory reminded Hamilton of when he got his first seat fit with Mercedes in 2013. They've had an incredible trip since then. He hasn't actually established any objectives for this year. Every member of his team has worked tirelessly to achieve the ultimate aim of winning the World Championship, lifting the standard and accomplishing something unprecedented. Wolff says he knew Hamilton would come back. Wolff told the BBC earlier on Friday that he was never afraid that Hamilton would leave Formula One, though he did say it was fair for the driver to be disillusioned following such an event. They were all disappointed because the stopwatch never lies, and Lewis was obviously the greatest person on the track in Abu Dhabi, dominating the race. And then it was taken away by a single individual in violation of all the regulations, which is difficult to swallow. But they have a strong team and a great support system, so he knew Hamilton was going to come back, and just like everyone else, there was an initial shock. They had never seen anything like that. So Hamilton needed to walk away, free his mind, think about something else, and start working on those events and finding a solution. What happens to Michael Masi? Michael Masi will be removed as Formula One race director and granted a new job within the FIA as part of a series of adjustments resulting from the governing body's investigation into last year's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Niels Wittich and Eduardo Freitas, who had recently worked in the World Endurance Championship and the DTM, will alternate as race directors. They will be helped by Herbie Blash, who returns to F1 as a permanent senior advisor after previously serving as Masi's predecessor, Charlie Whiting's deputy. The new race management trio will begin their new positions next week in Barcelona, where 3 days of preseason running will take place. Masi completed a difficult task as F1 race director for 3 years, replacing Charlie Whiting, according to newly elected FIA president Mohammed Ben Sulayem. In terms of institutional modifications, Ben Sulayem stated that a virtual race control room will be established to help the race director. It will be located at one of the FIA offices as a backup outside the track, similar to the video assistance referee (VAR) in football. It would assist in implementing the sporting regulations, utilizing the most sophisticated technology instruments in real-time interaction with the FIA F1 race director, he stated. Direct radio contacts during the race, which are now aired live on all TVs, will be withdrawn in order to safeguard the race director from any pressure and allow him to make choices quietly. It will still be able to ask questions of the race director through a well-defined and non-intrusive approach. The F1 Sporting Advisory Committee will examine the unlapping process behind the safety car and present them to the next F1 Commission prior to the start of the season. He submitted this comprehensive strategy to the members of the World Motorsport Council and the Senate, who enthusiastically supported it. In other news, Mercedes W13. Silverstone, a former airport in leafy Northamptonshire, can be windy even in the best of circumstances. But Mercedes didn't let Storm Eunice, which stormed over the UK on Friday, derail them as they presented the W13, which was constructed to sweeping new requirements, and raced the new Silver Arrow for the first time on track as part of filming day. Mercedes are laser-focused on completing the double for the 8th time in 9 years, following the mixed feelings of Abu Dhabi when the ecstasy of winning an 8th consecutive Constructors' Championship was tainted by Lewis Hamilton's last lap loss in the driver's title race. Because of the drastic revisions to the technical standards, there is virtually little carryover from last year's vehicles to this year's. We've seen a pattern of extremely tightly packed bodywork as teams have brought out their interpretations of the regulations over the previous couple of weeks, and Mercedes is no exception. Their technical director, Mike Elliott, whose team shifted early focus to this year's car design after shutting down the taps with their last major package at Silverstone, said getting the desired aero shapes meant a complete internal repackaging, and added that they have taken another step with how tightly packaged the side pods and engine cover are. This isn't simply a shrink-wrapping exercise. It takes a significant bit of designing and simulation to make it work. It's been a big undertaking, according to him. John Elkann, confident 2022 will be Ferrari's year. Ferrari chairman John Elkann has stated unequivocally that the Scuderia will be back in the winner's circle in Formula One this season. Sebastian Vettel's victory in the 2019 Singapore Grand Prix came immediately after his teammate Charles Leclerc's back-to-back double victories in Belgium and Italy. Since then, Ferrari has drawn a gloomy blank, placing a miserable 6th in the 2020 Constructors' Championship and a much improved 3rd last year, initially hampered by an FIA technical mandate concerning engines. But they appear to be on the rise again, and the F175, designed in compliance with the new regulations, might be the car that propels them back into first place, with some analysts predicting huge things for Ferrari in 2022. Elkann, the number one at Ferrari and the Stellantis organization, views race victories as a realistic goal for Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, and team president Mattia Binotto, in order to prevent a 3rd consecutive complete season without any for the Scuderia. The 45-year-old New York-born billionaire addressed the Tifosi personally in his remark that rounded out the presentation of the new vehicle, saying that the F175 embodies the very best in the inventive team spirit and the pursuit of performance that the Scuderia has always embodied. Mario Andretti's son applied for a new F1 team. Mario Andretti, a former Formula One world champion and motorsport hero, has revealed that his son Michael has applied to the FIA for a new team on the grid, beginning in 2024. Andretti announced the news on his Twitter account, stating that his son's entry, known as Andretti Global, has the resources and meets all of the requirements, and that the FIA's decision is just around the corner. Andretti informed IndyStar that the two-car team would be called Andretti Global and would be based in England, with the vehicles being manufactured at a planned facility near the organization's IndyCar headquarters in Indianapolis. He stated that the team has found an engine partner but did not disclose the identity. Michael Andretti acknowledged to motorsport.com that he has applied to the sport's regulatory body for a new team in 2 years, but would make no remark. He was in discussions last year to buy 80% of the Sauber Group, which owns the Alfa Romeo F1 team, but principal shareholder Finn Rausing declined to sell to the American. Purchasing an existing F1 team has become difficult as a result of the new Concord Agreement, which helps the current 10 teams retain good financial stability, implying that there is less of a possibility for interested parties to pick up a bargain in terms of a franchise. In addition, as part of the Concord Agreement, there is a AUD 278 million entrance fee, which serves as a dilution fund in that the price is divided among the 10 teams to safeguard their value. That's a wrap for this video. Are you excited for Hamilton's return? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.